Anyway, guys, what's up? You know, today's the day when the winter will cease to exist, hopefully forever. But as you can see, everything is kind of melting away. The small bits and pieces still remains, but mostly we're back at that nonsense. Very excellent. But don't let the mud fool you, guys. This is still my favorite time of the year. And now I've said it many times now. Spring is just the best, right? There is no comparison. It's even much better than summer, in my opinion. But guys, before we start off with the nonsense work, I figured maybe we should do some type of foreshadowing. Now by that I mean what we're planning to do during the course of this year. Now currently I'm not really sure when this video will be out. Maybe by the time it finally gets out, I have already done all the work that I'm gonna mention in a moment. And my videos are kind of behind all the time, about 1 to 2 months. So whatever I post today actually happened usually like 2 months ago. If you did not know, that's the case with me. I just need to make videos in advance because you know, maybe something happens, like I don't know, I die and then I don't have any videos to post out anymore. But if I did die, I would still have like, I could still do like 2 months worth of videos for you guys. So at least you guys are good. But basically what? Dude, I was looking for this last year. Man, it's not broken even. Very good. Weird stuff just kind of happens, guys. This is not scripted. I just kind of walk over there and hey man, my Kirovets was missing this part. So good. Things just spawn on the lawn these days. But anyway, the last year I focused a lot, you know, on the spaceport itself. Plus I bought a bunch of heavy equipment, which I'm probably never gonna properly need. I just kind of bought them because they were very cheap and maybe I will need them one day. Pinky swear that was the reason. Also kind of a good content material, right? Because if you buy something really old, really crap, then the videos never end on them, right? And especially on this guy, dude. That's where all my money comes from, no lie. Such a bank fault, that one. But I'm kind of getting sidetracked again. So foreshadowing. What was the business with that? Take a knee. Right now I have like a lot of projects that I want to do. But I can only do one thing at a time, and I have to choose which one would benefit like long term for me. Now to give you a couple of examples, I guess we still have the cabin that's unfinished. So during the winter time I did a couple of countertops over there, but I never really finished the sink business. So we need to finish that. Now in the main house though, you know, for starters, there's like a lot of projects here, but for starters I still need to relocate the woodworking workshop. Plus the main workshop needs to be expanded on the behalf of the woodworking workshop. So this wall needs to take a hike and be expanded. But you know, up there, I'm not gonna go up there right now, but up there I'm planning to build some type of enclosed room for storage. In front of the building I still have that foundation piece that I need to finish. So I have the foundation over there, but it kind of stops on that point and I need to continue on, finish all that. This is good part. This is the good part of the foundation, but from here we still have maybe like less than a meter of depth for the concrete. For comparison, on that side, the little chunk that we did, that's I think 1.8 meters of concrete wall going down under the logs. So that's a pretty solid piece of foundation there, but here it's just garbage. And actually the entire front end of the building needs to be worked on. I need to get rid of this, the sun deck, and dig out the foundation on the entire front end except for that little chunk, and then install also the rainwater runoff, much like I did on the other side of the building. So yeah, that's like another huge project that I'm looking forward to do. But at the spaceport itself, last year we built this little shed over here. I haven't done anything inside there. I'm just gonna park the Bobcat inside it over the winter time, but other than that, it's empty. What's up, my man? But yeah, this is supposed to be my new woodworking workshop. So we're gonna move the old woodworking workshop from the main house to this point. But you know, I'm gonna make the workshop only on that side. I want this side to be storage, so I could store sawmill material here, maybe also panels like plywood, OSB, something like that. I want to build some type of a rack on the wall. Currently I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it on that wall or on the back wall. Now if I did it on that wall, then I could install longer pieces, obviously, so maybe that's a bit more worth it, but it's gonna limit the accessibility if you want to come in here with Bobcat, for example. So this itself is like a huge project on its own, right? Just to move the woodworking workshop into this place. And a couple of other things as well. For example, new main workshop or big workshop will come on this pad, but I need to make the pad a bit wider. It's kind of too short for that right now. And additionally, the firewood processor, which I built over the winter time, will be parked just behind the workshop. So I need a pad for that as well, but I don't think that pad is going to be very big. Maybe it's just the size of the machinery itself. So it would be great to work on concrete, right? And a tractor shed. So I want to add a pad on this side as well, and maybe also an additional roof overhang over that one, so I could store some stuff and hide it from rain. I was thinking maybe the new blue would fit here pretty good. The old blue deserves to be inside the shed. The new blue can go to the nearest volcano and die. I mean next to the tractor shed, not to the volcano. But you know, addition to that mess, I still have a lot of work to do inside the forests, cleaning brush, also the new property where I want to clean up brush as well. And addition to all of that, the machines, right? All the machines require attention, am I right? I mean, that guy, the first giveaways, that guy requires a lot of attention. The other giveaways, not so much, but still a bit. Here we go. Nothing much going on over there. Everything works excellently well. I can't remember. Did I lock the freaking clutch pedal down? Just in case. Oh, good job. Kind of forgot. Joseph is ready to go. Straight over the tractor over there. But guys, about the foreshadowing, what I'm planning to do. So, as you saw, I have a lot of work to do. So I need to choose something, and I've decided that I'm gonna focus on the spaceport mostly because I kind of don't like how it looks, you know. It looks like a freaking mud pit. It's pretty bad. I would be so happy if I had asphalt shavings all over the place, just like I have near the main workshop. You know, that stuff is just amazing. I put it down like a couple of years ago now, and it's still there. It looks like it was parked here yesterday. It looks very good. I probably need to do like another coat at some point, because while I'm driving from there to here with the Bobcat, I carry a lot of sand on top of the tarmac, and that's just gonna make everything look pretty ugly. So I'm gonna try to focus mostly on the spaceport, and before the winter hits, I wanna have that shaving town all over the place. So cover the entire area, also including from here some ways. I'm not really sure how far, but maybe like stop somewhere over here. And beyond that, I'm gonna have the same gravel, sandy based marsh going forward, because I wanna do like a pathway, a road that goes all the way down to the stream, and then it connects up with the road which I built last year inside the forest. I made the same gravel based road inside there as well, and that has endured amazingly well. It may not look a lot right now because it's covered by a bunch of leaves, but dude, and that's a solid piece of road, and I don't regret building this whatsoever. It's been very useful. Now, I'm gonna try to find some imagery for you guys, what this area looked like before I had the road placed down. And it was really bad, the first couple of loads with the tractor, no problem. But after about the 100th load, the thing looked like this. That's really bad, right? This is much better now. Maybe I need to put more stuff down to build it higher. It's kind of sitting lower than the remaining area, but even this is 10,000 times better than what I had before. Sadly, it kind of stops here. It stops at the stream. And what I want to do is keep going with the road, all the way up to the spaceport, which is kind of over there somewhere. What is that? I spy with my glorious eye. There's some loot on the floor. Ooh. No, I think this is from the tree. Fancy that. Free stuff. So yeah, a road from the stream all the way up to the spaceport. And the main purpose of that road is pretty simple. At the moment, Volvo can't get up the hill without any Joseph aid. And also, I don't want to bring mud on top of the new material, either gravel or the asphalt shavings. In addition to that, probably need some type of a road that goes behind the new workshop as well. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna shave that or just keep it gravel based. Maybe that's just fine being gravel based. Not really sure at the moment about that. But with that being said, like I told you, I'm mostly gonna focus trying to finish up the spaceport. I'm not gonna focus on building the shed or the main workshop or any roof over there, which is also planned. So those are the type of projects that I can do anytime, right? But if I want to shave the entire area, I need to do the beds, correct? So I need to get rid of these trees, do the beds for that stuff, do the bed for this side, and then once I don't have any digging business remaining inside the spaceport, then I can apply the final finish. That's why I haven't really done it so far, because the spaceport is not finished yet. Now, additional to the pads, I also have to keep in mind that I want to install power to this pad as well, so the workshop will get power. And this is kind of a maybe, but I want to install some type of underground water storage. The rainwater from this building and that building, and also maybe this building, would kind of collect somewhere over here underground, but it has to be deep enough so it wouldn't freeze during the winter time. My idea was I'm just gonna order those well rings. Just dig like a little hole and then start placing the rings on top of each other, digging out from the bottom. The rings will sag down with their own weight eventually, and maybe if I've reached a certain point or depth, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna add concrete floor or concrete base to it, and some type of drainage on top, so the well wouldn't get completely filled. The water level has to stay below freezing point. So that's my current plan, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it. Maybe there's like a easier option for this. What do you guys think about that idea? Is that feasible? For example, I wouldn't need to make a huge hole for that, right? I would just need to make like maybe a 2 meter deep hole, place 4 or 5 rings of concrete vertically, fill it on the sides, and then start digging down from the center. Eventually the thing is gonna slowly sag downwards. I mean, that's how they built wells back in the day, right? So pads, wells, maybe electricity, and I also want to install security inside the spaceport. I think I'm just gonna put like some amounts of cameras inside every shed, and also to look over the area here. So goals are pretty simple overall. Just try to wrap up the spaceport. I mean, I don't really need to do the other stuff right at the moment. I don't consider that stuff priority. And for example, woodworking workshop, sure, I would love to move it to a new spot, but dude, I do have a functional woodworking workshop at the moment, so if I move that one here, I'm basically gonna gain nothing. Maybe like convenience overall, but nothing much else. And the main workshop right now, sure, it's kind of small, but it's still functional. Man, I built that freaking log grappler for the Volvo inside there. No, it's still kind of inside there, but if I manage to build something that size inside the workshop, then I guess it's not that small, right? And it will work. So that's, I mean, no rush with that as well. And anything else, you know, fixing the machines, sure, I would love to do that. So I'm probably gonna do that as well if I get bored of the spaceport nonsense. But mostly I'm gonna put my effort towards the spaceport, at least starting right now. The first things first, I need to empty that bunch, which we're gonna do in a moment. I do have some plan changes as well, but nothing major. But you know, beyond that, I'm gonna try to get that thing going and then get rid of these trees. So that's gonna be a fun project. Can't wait for that to happen. The firewood business will remain here until I have the new pad finished for it, so I can just kind of lift it from here and place it permanently on its new spot, and I don't need to move it ever again. But anyway, let's do a bit of firewooding now. Kind of eager to, I haven't done it for a while, so let's fire up the business. And I'm gonna use old blue again to power the roller deck. That seemed to work out pretty good, but in the future I was thinking maybe like a small electric hydraulic power bank that would power the entire thing. I wouldn't need anything excessively powerful, right? That thing doesn't require a lot of flow, so I could put like a really small pump on it and it would be super quiet, just kind of working in a corner somewhere, and everything would still move just like it is with the old blue. I mean, it's a great plan and all, but I do have to keep one thing in mind. Power is very expensive in Estonia. So currently we're paying roughly 400 euros every month for just electricity. Now, if you put that, if you compare that to diesel, then I could probably buy like 300 plus liters of diesel for the same amount of money. And I could run this guy for like half a year straight with that amount of diesel. Now, for example, when we did the firewood mission, the firewood movie, where I cut everything with this thing, I only used about 20 liters of diesel. Dude, that's only 30 euros worth of diesel. to do 50 cubic meters of firewood. Okay, that's not entirely true. Actually, it was 40 liters of diesel, 20 for cutting and 20 for splitting roughly, but still. Like 50 euros worth of diesel to make all of this firewood. Dude, you can't even compare that to electricity, right? That's probably going to be several times more. But you know, instead of Old Blue powering this guy forever, I was thinking maybe buy a stationary Old Blue engine. You know, this guy uses a very efficient 4-cylinder diesel engine. It's also air cooled, so there's like a lot of complexity from it missing, right? It's a very reliable little engine and it will dig on for a really long time. Usually you can find those motors for about $1,000, maybe a bit more, completely rebuilt. And I was thinking maybe just kind of mount it on a stand, put a hydraulic pump on it, let it idle away. Not really sure if that's a good idea. Maybe we should go with the electricity route. I probably will, but no, guess we'll see. And about the log splitter setup, I want to relocate some stuff around. So instead of doing the nonsense we did way back when, you know, filled up the boxes on this spot and then hauled the boxes somewhere over there and later dealt with the splitting part, I was thinking maybe let's just put a couple of boxes, maybe 3 here. And once those get full, we're gonna stop the cutting action, gonna move over to the splitting action, empty the 2 boxes, and you know, pack up the stuff, transport the boxes over there, and restart the cutting process. So this would be like focusing on the cutting, then focusing on the splitting, then focusing on the packaging, back to the cutting. I think that's at the moment a better option to do, or at least to try. But in the future, I do want to add some more automation to this entire setup. Maybe I'm gonna redesign the splitter a bit, and also the log roller deck as well, just in order to make it a bit more convenient to use, I guess. Now I need an option for the material, the cut pieces, to go away automatically, and I can achieve that with 2 possible solutions. Either I'm gonna make it gravitationally go away, so make that platform kind of tilty, so cut the piece, log rolls away, or I could just use a conveyor belt. So both would work, I guess. I'm not really sure which one I would prefer. I guess we'll see in the future. But right now, just got some manual labor involved there, which is not that bad, but still could be deleted in the future, I guess. You know how it is, guys. There's always room to improve, right? Things can only get better. I mean, we got proof right over there. Things are already looking up. No more stupid snow. I think there's no point cleaning the floor until everything unfreezes. A bunch of frozen ice down there. But yeah, everything unfreezes, plus I remove the contraption. Then we can easily clean this area up. Which shows us blade. 1 scoop. And once I set everything up on the new location, I probably need to think about cleanup as well. It's kind of starting to interfere with the work, you know. I probably need to make some type of maybe a special attachment for the bobcat or something. The boxes are sitting like half a meter higher because of all the frozen crap on the ground. Definitely can't fit 3 here, but 2 is fine as well. So sorry guys, it was an accident. Stupid gravity. This was not part of the plan. Bye, have a wonderful time. I think this is pretty okay. You fill these 2 up, then split, stack, out, repeat. Such a robot. Although I think I need to put some temporary boards here. So while I draw the thing over, it's not gonna fall out from this side. Let's go leak a bit, my old friend. There is an old saying about the old T40 tractor. If there's gonna be a nuclear war one day, then that's the only tractor that will survive. Oh, good sir, why is the chain facing the wrong direction? Dude, that is the lamest thing ever. Hopefully I'm the only moron who does that from time to time. Wait your turn, man! Tule, sa oled liiga suureks selle hunniku ajanud. Man, why is my firewood so shit? Not a single straight piece. Everyone are freaking snakes. But actually that went pretty fast. Yeah, quite enjoyable as well. I'm kind of sketchy over there with a giant wall of trees trying to fall on me, but maybe we can improve that in the future. Something's up with the chainsaw again. I replaced that bushing like, I don't know, 2 months ago. Look at that. I think that's broken again. Plus I have no idea what the other bushing is doing, if it's having so much play. Now I love the saw, but that vibration suppression system is just absolute garbage. Now it works great if it works, but it just falls apart so easily. It's like over-engineered piece of crap, in my opinion. Oh, and something's up here as well. It's like the chainsaw has tilted that way somehow. Although the shaft has not slipped, that's exactly where it needs to be. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, everything seems to be locked, but the chainsaw is like visibly tilting that way. I don't think that's bent. It's kind of strange, honestly. And sometimes the easiest solution is the only solution. But anyway, let's fire up that guy. And instead of using the Yanmar, I want to dry out my hydraulic power bank that I built. Actually, it would be better if I connected up directly, you know, from that pump to that valve block, instead of from that pump to that valve block, to that valve block, back to that valve block, and back to the tank. Now clearly with that solution there's probably some good type of a drag somewhere, and I kind of noticed this as well last time I tested this. You know, the moment I put flow to that valve block, engine just started making a lot of noise, like it was hard to pump the fluid or something like that. I think there's a restriction somewhere, so it would be better if we directly go there. I think the pressure side is pretty easy overall. Okay, so one end needs to be that, and the other end needs to be bigger. I'm assuming that one, but I don't think I have the correct thing. So we need to cut that in half, and also I already have one piece. Okay. Need the other piece. Okay, that should take care of the feed. Turn is a bit more trickier. It would be great if I had more of that hose, then I could just ignore this hose, put a new hose there from the filter. But I don't have that hose at the moment. Plus it's Sunday, so everything's closed. Technically I can use something like this as well for a turn, I'm pretty sure. But even this is not long enough. Se on pikem natukene. Okay, it took me forever, but I think I have an option. Or rather a solution. See on jumala kinni, tuleb kuskilt mujalt lahtine. No ma räägin, ta tuleb sealt lahti hoopis. Man, that's blue actually works pretty good. I think a pretty okay solution, honestly. Should work out pretty good. Maybe if this guy works very well with the log splitter, then this is gonna be a permanent solution. Right now I just need to test things out. By the way, wanna bet that I also need to swap out the actuator hoses. You know me guys, I'm really good with 50-50 odds. Usually they go south on me all the time. Oh, man. Need to go buy more oil, I think. Okay, so if the cylinder starts coming out, then I need to swap the hoses around. Hence the 50-50 odds. Is it coming out? Man, I told you, 50 odds. I'm always on the other side. It's so unfair. What crap do I need here? Oi, jumal küll. Well, look at the bright side. At least I don't need to worry about oil spills in this area. Faster than the on-market. much faster. It's idling. Okay, so I'm gonna go turn on the sun because I can't see anything. Click. But anyway, guys, yeah, I think that setup actually works a lot better. It's many times faster, technically. And having direct flow from the pump to the valve block is the way to go. But guys, I think I'm gonna actually change the design of the splitter in the future. I think I'm gonna get rid of this wedge and do a completely different splitting technique. Now, if you don't know why I actually went with this wedge in the beginning, now at the start I had completely different plans. I wanted to make a grid fin splitter, you know, like a grid fin setup where the wedge will push the wood through a grid fin, getting equal size firewood. But I decided to go with this wedge design instead because of the length of the firewood, which was for me at least 50 centimeters. And I couldn't do the grid fin setup because of the cylinder. The stroke of the cylinder was only 40 centimeters, so that wouldn't work with a 50 centimeter log. But yeah, as it turns out, after the winter, after we went through all the firewood, Super Sister said that shorter firewood is good as well. We don't need 50 centimeter firewood. By the way, great timing, Super Sister. Couldn't you figure this out before? But yeah, keeping that in mind, I think we can in the future do that grid fin setup. Let's just kind of cut that thing off, completely remove it, and make the grid fin setup. So if the log, for example, I can visualize it for you guys. It's pretty simple. So currently we have the main wedge, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces from a single bush. But the grid fin setup would look something like we would have the main wedge that way. It will kind of go down like a box, and inside the box we would have like extra wedges like that, or maybe they need to be pointing somewhere else. I'm not really sure about that at the moment. So as the log travels through it, the bottom half of the log gets split into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and the remaining piece will be brought back with the return stroke. So we could weld something together that will bring the unsplitted part back, so it could be fed through the wedges again, so that it would kind of work both ways that way, right? Right now the return stroke is not doing any work, it's just kind of going back to the base. So the firewood would be pushed through the grid fin at the bottom, and then we could add some type of plate down there where the firewood would collect, and if that plate is full, I could either pick it from the plate, put it inside the box, or I could just put the box here, right? The ram would push everything eventually inside the box. No conveyor required. What do you guys think about that idea? I'm pretty sure it's a pretty good idea on paper, but maybe some logs are like, you know, my firewood is absolute garbage, as you can see. So maybe some logs, they don't want to go through the grid fin perfectly. Maybe they're gonna like go up or sideways, and then you're not making firewood anymore, you're kind of making mashed potatoes. Might be a good idea, maybe not. What do you guys think? Now someone sent me a video of that thing operating and it seemed perfect, but inside the video every log was like, I don't know, perfectly round, and they were like splitting log house logs, you know. They were perfectly round logs, but I don't have any of that here. All my firewood is absolute junk. I usually put the nice logs on the sawmill and all the junk goes to the firewood. So I'm not sure if that setup will work for me. Worth a try though. This thing started to work on its own, look at that. It didn't work last time, what? I haven't done anything to it. Just sometimes things fix themselves, right? Maybe it had something to do with the different setup. Maybe this didn't work with the Yanmar. That's kind of interesting. much faster than with the Yanmar, that's for sure. Really liking this at the moment. Maybe I'm not gonna change that. The oil is starting to kind of warm up a bit. I'd say about maybe 10 degrees Celsius at the moment. So this might be a problem, you know, if we decide to split firewood in the summertime. May also need to install a oil cooler to the entire setup. But no, I don't see that being a problem. We could definitely, you know, blow the I-beam over there and then mount the cooler on it. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so from now on I'm gonna keep 2 boxes here for stacking purposes. Now one gets full so fast, and I don't want to trouble the bobcat just because we need to move 1 box. Rather have 2. And 2 here, 2 there, and all the work is in the area. I think this is pretty good. I love that thing. And especially I like the feature that I have like these smaller logs that I'm just gonna keep in one hand, and I only split them once in half from the center, so I don't need to use the bottom wedges for that. I can just use the top part, I guess. Plus, in most cases, I don't need to do a full cycle for that. Just needs like a little bush, and then next piece, please. But and about the thing that didn't split, so that was kind of a surprise. However, I wasn't completely surprised as well at the same time, I guess. You know, I've had some pretty decent logs here so far, and I was pretty sure nothing's gonna stop that, but out of nowhere that guy did, and I think it's because of that setup. Now I'm about 99% sure if I had the Yanmar here instead, that guy would have went through it no problem. I mean, we put the biggest log we put on the bed. Dude, that guy looked something like well, something like that essentially. Actually, it was even bigger. That one was 80 centimeters wide, the biggest one we had. That looks to be about 60 or something like that. And although it went very, very slowly, Yanmar did not stop. It just kept pushing very slowly until the log broke. This, however, did stop. So that kind of begs the question, what's up with that? The numbers kind of speak for this setup, because that pump generates about 100 bar more pressure than the Yanmar's pump. Also, the flow rate is well, about 15 gallons per minute versus 13 gallons per minute on the Yanmar. So the numbers kind of point towards this. So I'm not really sure why it's weaker, you know, this setup. And maybe that relief valve is set very low. You know, I have never touched that. Maybe that relief valve is set kind of low, because on the Yanmar's side, but we use this valve block as well with the Yanmar. Can't be that then, I think. Never mind. Yeah, currently I can't explain why that thing stopped, because I'm pretty sure Yanmar would have not stopped. I guess we can try this later, because I also want to split those giant logs, you know, over there. I think I have like 4 or 5. And if the gasoline won't be able to split, I guess we can switch back the hydraulics to the Yanmar and test it out with that. Then we can confirm if the Yanmar is providing more. Well, I want to say pressure, but actually that one provides more pressure, so that's why it doesn't kind of make sense at the moment. Guess we can test that out later. But you know, other than that little mishap, dude, I'm absolutely loving this setup. I don't know. Call me crazy, call me insane, call me a moron, but whatever. At the moment, I like this setup. Now, obviously, we can do several improvements to make things better, like that Creed fin setup on the log splitter. So that would be one, I guess. But I'm not really sure I want that. This seems... I kind of like the log splitting part more than I like the cutting part, to be honest. But about the cutting part, definitely we need some type of solution here which will automatically take the cut piece into a box. So I got it, and instead of staying here, the piece needs to go inside the box automatically. So I definitely want to do that in the future. That's a must. And you guys remember I also said that I want to automate the log deck. So chains for the log deck and some type of a turning device which would turn the log onto the rollers. But now, after I went through this pile... Oh, I still have a little bit left. I just kind of noticed that. Whatever. Maybe you can get a clearer picture this way. So I think that setup actually wouldn't help me at all. And that's because of the stuff that's in front of you right now. It's just absolute garbage, honestly. Even if I had chains here and that turning apparatus, I think I wouldn't be able to turn anything on the roller deck, because that thing is like barbed wire, bro. maybe you noticed during the time-lapse thing, but I had like a lot of trouble here while trying to get some loose logs from that X pile. It was just so annoying. The crooked logs, they were just like scissoring each other constantly. I couldn't get anything loose. I even needed to invite the bobcat in order to break up the scissoring action, you know. Now let's do imagine if I install those chains and that turning thing. Now if I pull the lever to move the chains forward, the entire scissor pile will move forward. Okay, the pile will come here, stop, and then I turn the thing and it's gonna turn like freaking 10 scissoring logs onto the roller deck. So instead of those crooked pieces of dirt scissoring on the log deck, they're gonna start scissoring on the roller deck, and then I'm screwed because I can't feed anything into the cutting unit, right? I have like 10 logs here that are not gonna move forward, not gonna move backward. I need to pick them out by hand. So, you know, considering the type of firewood I have, which is just junk, I don't think that setup is gonna help me at all. It's just gonna create additional issues, and I think I'm kind of doomed to hand sort this through in the future as well. Now surprisingly though, which I am by the way very proud about, I can feed pretty crooked material through this setup. And sometimes I do have trouble with these crooked logs, definitely, and sometimes they want to go like there or come this way or don't even go through the gates. It's just gonna hit the wall over there. But surprisingly, most of the time the stuff just comes through, and I'm really proud about that. I think this actually works better than I ever imagined it would work. But you know, with that being said, I guess I'm not gonna do that chain thing for the log deck. I just don't see that it's gonna improve anything. It's just gonna cost a lot of money to build, and most likely I can't use it properly as long as I have these chunky firewood pieces. And it's not like I'm gonna get any better material in the future, because I only get material from my own forests, and all the nice logs, you know, stuff like that, they go to the sawmill, so all the chunk ends up here. I guess I can try to do like a better job in the forest if I cut stuff down for firewood, that I need to make sure that at least I put straight pieces, and it doesn't matter how long they are. I can feed, I guess, like 4 meters into this machinery, so I can keep that in mind. But the length doesn't really matter. It can be anything from 1.5 meters to 4 meters. I just need to make sure they're straight and don't have any stupid giant knots which will prevent them from going through the machinery. Now that was quite a mouthful, but here's some more. Now, instead of the chains and the turning thing, I was thinking maybe we could install little helping hand here. And this is just an idea at the moment. It just kind of came out of nowhere. But now let's imagine I'm in a tough situation where I can't get any more pieces down because they're all scissoring in a pile. Then maybe we could have some type of log grappler crane attachment attached to the log deck. There may be something like that on the log trailer, but make like a permanent mount for it. It would sit like somewhere over here or that side, and if there's a problem on the log deck, then I can untangle the mess with the crane on the same hydraulics. I wouldn't need to ram into the entire pile with the bobcat from the side to untangle the mess. What do you think about that idea? I think that's actually even a better one than installing chains that I don't need. So as of right now, the cutting deck definitely needs chains. I need to automate that. And the crane option is a maybe, and the grid fin setup is also a maybe right now. Other than that, oh, the cleanup as well. I mean, look at the floor, bro. This is just a catastrophe. I need to think about the cleanup as well. After every season, I need to clean everything, and look under the log deck. Dude, how I'm gonna clean this up? Yeah, when I make the permanent log deck for this setup on the other side, I need to keep the cleaning in mind, so I could use the bobcat somehow to pull or push the crap out from the bottom, right? I don't want to remove the entire line just to clean the floor. That kind of makes no sense. I mean, this part is severely messed up. Look at that. So much sawdust, bro. At least I can cover the oil leaks nicely for at least 100 years. I got you covered, buddy. But anyway. Oh, there was that thing as well. Maybe you guys noticed during the time lapse. Something arrived. I put it in there. So I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna let the theories fly. No, I'm evil like that. So I'm not gonna explain anything at the moment. vaata, üks on otsaga seal, teine on otsaga kuskil perses omadega. Kõverad muksi ka veel täis. Mida sa jebid nüüd seal jalgade vahel? Mis kuradi nussi käib, ma ei saa aru. Jumala kinni omadega siin kõik. Joba no! Okay, now I'm ready to work. Man, this is the only nice log I've had. Something stupid. Wow. What a guy. Kind of annoying. Instead of dealing with all of these stupid ass small motors, or is it only with this brand? Because I have the same thing on the sawmill as well, and the muffler like tries to walk out of the situation after 10 minutes. Same problem there. I wonder if I can put that blue glue there, Loctite. Blue Loctite, maximum temperature. 300 Fahrenheit up to 360. So 150 degrees Celsius up to all the way 180. I don't think this guy gets that hot. Maybe like 100 maximum. I don't know. Let's ask Skynet. How hot will small gasoline engine muffler get? Small gasoline engine mufflers typically reach surface temperature between 150 to 260. So it's a bit more than the glue. Man, it's so useful to have that GLaDOS chick around. Get answers in seconds. You don't need to go to the market anymore with your giant flyer asking for aid. Whoopsie daisy. Very expensive liquid. Do not waste. Sometimes I like to ask these silly questions from the guy, like unrealistic events, but the answer she gives, and sometimes it's very funny. I mean, we can do like a quick test right here, right now. Okay, what is a silly question? Oh, I know. How powerful of a log, not log, stupid sausage fingers. How powerful of a log splitter you would need in order to initiate nuclear fusion. Answer over there. A log splitter, regardless of its power, cannot initiate nuclear fusion. Oh man, I was pretty sure my guy was a candidate for that. That sucks. Log splitters operate on a macro mechanical scale and produce pressure and temperatures that are vastly insufficient for initiating fusion, which requires conditions found in the core of a star. So maybe Joseph will work for that part. Temperature requirements 100 million degrees Celsius. Okay, that's a bit much. I don't think that's gonna go through the pump, bro. Plus, at those temperatures, hydraulic fluid will probably change state. But pressure requirements. While a log splitter exerts significant mechanical pressure on a piece of wood, nuclear fusion requires immense pressure to force nuclei together, often in plasma state. Or whatever. There's a bunch of science information there to be followed. The guy wrote like an entire book about it, but I guess our dreams are broken now and we can't initiate fusion with that guy. I mean, also I'm broke. But in other news, I'm kind of impressed how little fuel that thing actually uses. I was pretty sure I'm gonna empty the tank in like 10 minutes, but no. I only had the 5-liter thing and looks like still a little bit left in there. So maybe we used the full 5 liters, you know, and we did 1/2. Oh. Glad I came over here. But I think we started from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 minus 1, 7.5. 7.5 boxes with 5 liters of gasoline. Last time we did, I think, like 45 boxes with 20 liters of diesel. 45, 20 liters and 4 times 7.5, 30. So diesel is definitely more efficient, because if we did the same work with the gasoline, we would have used about 6 or 7 liters more, right? If the math is correct. But still, it's not a big difference, honestly. I mean, 5 liters of gasoline for 7 cubic meters of firewood, that's basically nothing, right? Seems pretty good. We got some snow in there. Look at that! It's Christmas. It's called the Santa Claus. And if you're curious what type of garbage that is, then it's hardener. You know, when they make plywood, they use hardener and glue. And this is part B. Much like epoxy, you have the epoxy and you have the hardener. So this is the part B. Not sure how toxic it is. Probably not that bad, but I wouldn't eat it. I just kind of collect it here, and one day when my spaceport is finally finished, I'm just gonna fire it directly at the sun. Whenever the launch takes place, you guys are all invited, keep that in mind, but anname jalg siia. Jopanu. Noh, kuidas seda sinna panid üldse? Kurat, need käed on mingid ligaga koos. Persse on. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But about the launch. Oh yeah, I don't have any money for the rocket equipment, so you have to pay for that. If that gets sorted, then you're all invited. Nüüd ma olen sokkide peal kõnnin minema siit vä? Don't watch my ass. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Okay. I guess we need to go fire up the Yanmar for this part. Okay, so I'm gonna revert the hydraulics back to the way they were before, so I could connect it up to the Yanmar, and then we can, well, based on previous experience, guys should split everything. Well, howdy folks, it's me, you're that guy from YouTube, I mean the host. We have to hurry this up, okay? I may only have like a couple of hours before the Colombian police triangulate my position, so...
We are live right now, what are you doing? Don't talk about that at the moment. Just stick to the guards, bro, this time. Don't go off the record. Don't go off the script, okay?
Oh, so we're live right now? Well, thanks for letting me know, bro. I had no idea. But anyway, let's start this competition up. We only have, I think, like 4 losers who are about to die. So the first guy is on the bed, and do you have anything to say? I don't even know his name. I just got here like 5 seconds ago. So what do you have to say? But never mind, nobody cares, you're a piece of wood. Woods don't talk. Whoa! What's just happened? It failed. What does this guy think he is? I don't have my hammer with me. Oh! What's up? Whatever his face was, he failed. But it was a good run. By the way, that thing works with the diesel as well. One moment, I'm gonna do a cycle. You know, maybe there was some debris stuck and then it got loose. I think that's a pretty plausible option. What is going on? Me. The gyro splitter is not powerful enough. Almost failed the first. Dude. I mean, it's obvious. We need to make it stronger now. And we need to replace that thing with something bigger. I was thinking maybe the rod, at least the size of the moon, you know? And we can pull off some wild math quickly here. I mean, how powerful how big is the moon diameter? Wow, only 3.4 kilometers. Wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. 3,474 kilometers. Okay, that's how powerful would my log splitter be if the bore of the cylinder is, you know, let's be modest a bit, 3,000 kilometers, and rod, we don't need like a huge rod, right? Let's go with like 150 millimeters. What the shit, look at that, guys. 14.9 quadrillion metric tons. Dude, where can I get a cylinder like that? I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, to be honest, I don't even want to split that. Even attempt to split that, because it's a bunch of waste of time, honestly. You're not gonna get any good firewood material from that. It's just a bunch of crap. But you know, for scientific reasons. Let's play dumb. If I can get it up there. I mean, this thing is pretty heavy. If it falls on the other side, then I'm done. But I don't think it's gonna actually split that. Might actually break something. Well, we do have that little connection there, maybe that's gonna make it easy for us. Terve se. I should have made it heavier. This is the tree which we pulled out of the stream some time ago. Seems to be pretty strong. That's stronger though. Stop crying, man. I like how the weight is like bending left and right all the time, but it's not broken off or anything. Maybe that's normal. Well, last year I didn't have this type of an option at all to split lumber like this. My little 6-ton splitter definitely can't split anything like this, not even close. Well, I guess you could split this stuff by hand as well, with an axe or a maul to some degree. I guess that would be an option. Everything that has a beginning has an end. And this is the end of this movie. Oh my lord. Look at that, we got that nice gravel there and then bunch of mud on top of it. That's just so bad. At least the base is solid. I mean, you're not sinking in. The bottom is still good, tough material. It's just have like a lot of mud on top of it. Can't wait until I can get to work on this part. But actually soon, you know, I want to get the trees down before they leave up. Then the job is 10 times worse. Just try to get them down as fast as possible. But as for this mess, and clearly the Yanmar has more power, right? The Yanmar's hydraulic system. But numbers speak against it. Maybe I have something hooked up incorrectly here. I mean, I'm not really sure what that port is about. Maybe I need to have the hose connected there. Maybe this is a double acting pump, you know, one for fast flow but low pressure, other for slow flow but high pressure. Maybe that's the deal. Not really sure, honestly. Now, if you guys already said something about this in any of the previous videos, then kudos, because I haven't released any of the previous videos before this. So joke's on me. But no, regardless of the lack of power, this thing still managed to split almost everything, you know. Then the Yanmar did the final couple of pieces, but I think I would still prefer to use that setup. That's way more convenient, right? It's a lot easier to start the gasoline motor during the winter time compared to a frozen diesel engine. I mean, that requires some prep work. This thing should go no matter what the temperature is at. But you know, I think in the future I'm not gonna use that for the log splitting part anyway. I think I'm just gonna keep that in order to test some hydraulic systems out, like have a mobile hydraulic tester, or maybe in the workshop in the future I'm gonna make some tools which have hydraulics on them, so we could use that to power those tools as well. So this would be like a mobile hydraulic bank, I guess. But now, as for this, obviously I don't want to use the Yanmar, but maybe we can build a dedicated hydraulic bank for the entire sawmilling business. And I was thinking maybe buying the T40 engine, you know, that guy over there, and maybe hooking up a Girovets hydraulic pump to it somehow with a special mount. Now the Girovets hydraulic pump will do the same pressure as the Yanmar, but the hydraulic flow rate is significantly more. I think it was 140 liters per minute. So that's like 37 gallons per minute. Dude, that is just insane flow rate. But it shouldn't use a lot of fuel because that engine is pretty efficient. And you know, that seems like a pretty decent option. But then again, I have that diesel issue then, cold starting, you know. I would need to somehow get the engine warm. Whatever, maybe we'll go electric, who knows. I change my mind every 5 minutes, you guys know me. But now, as for this setup, I'm gonna keep it here like I said, and I think I'm not quite done with firewooding just yet, because you know, once I remove these trees, I don't want to put the firewood material, you know, somewhere in a pile. I'd rather just kind of put them on the deck again, process the material again, and then I don't have like no firewood piles anywhere. It's always on the deck and I don't need to rehandle material. That will be my end goal, and I think that's pretty okay. But as for this one, I'm gonna pack everything up nicely, and I'm gonna try to figure out the situation on that processor, and then we'll take it from there. So toodaloo.